Hello, everyone. This is Lisa Andrus, Psychic Medium, and this is your weekly reading for November 16th to the 22nd, 2015. And this week, I got a hit to use a couple of decks again. The Life Purpose Oracle cards are just the accent card or the extra card for the week. And then the primary was Healing with the Fairies. I feel like the fairies really wanted to talk to you guys this week because I've just been seeing it in my head for the last couple of days. So here's how we arrived at this. As usual, I have shuffled and pre-drawn the cards, and I'm doing the readings a little early because I'm going out of town. So I hope that you enjoy, and we'll see together what the week has in store. Our Monday, Tuesday card is Parenting and Children. Ooh, the first thing I'm hearing is that those of you that want a baby, I feel like it's magically gonna work out. So if you've been trying to conceive and you've been having a problem conceiving, actually I just heard consult a physician. So if you've been going for a while without conception, it's time to pick up the phone and give the doctor a call. They may help you. Or it might be a reproductive endocrinologist. But if you are not feeling like it's time to call a doctor, I just feel like you're going to conceive soon if you're not already pregnant or your wife or partner is pregnant. And then the other thing, I feel like there's several meanings in this card, so I'm just going to say them all that are coming to me. If you want to adopt and you have been waiting forever, because those of us that want to adopt tend to have been through a lot. And I will tell you that I have myself, I want to adopt. I have no idea what's going to happen because it's a huge endeavor. You know, I'm in my 40s. I don't know when I'll be able to afford it, if somehow I won't end up adopting. It's like you can try, but maybe I'm just not supposed to have kids. And I think that's where a lot of us come from. It's like for most of my adult life, I've wanted to have kids, and it took me a while to realize. They always said that doctors couldn't understand why I wasn't conceiving. And I just came to the determination that it was like, okay, if I'm not going to for a while, I just thought I was never going to have kids. And one day the light bulb went off that said, I really would like to consider this option and I would really like to adopt. But I've gone through all the different shades of, I don't think I could get a baby, or I don't think I could get the child I want. The foster and adoption system in America, in my opinion, to say it needs an improvement is an understatement. It's really, really difficult to. And the most heartbreaking thing, I think, is for the children. And so then a lot of people here decide to pursue adoption internationally, although that has not been as popular in recent years. But regardless, it's a huge endeavor. Adoption's not for the weak at heart. You have to save your money. You have to wait. Sometimes you have to pray for a miracle, just like you would for conception. And so know that if you are hoping to adopt and you're on a waiting list to adopt, I feel like you might get a call from a birth mother soon, or from the adoption agency soon. And then the other thing that they want me to say in regards to this card is that if you have an adult child a teenager or an adult child that you're worried about, this is a sign that they're going to be okay. Just because I think it's really hard when we love someone so much, not being able to control the outcome or know what's going to happen. And I did an event recently where I was doing lots of readings. And what I really notice in my psychic readings, as opposed to medium readings, in the psychic ones, people are asking about life. And I am many things, but one of the things, and one of my first dreams was to be a musician. And I was in bands for years, and I'm still a musician. I don't do it all the time anymore, but suffice to say, in my readings, I draw many musicians, or lately I've been getting parents of musicians coming to me saying, something like, my adult child wants to be a musician is this going to work out? And what I normally say is, it's not, again, we're talking about, this is the second time I've said this just with this one card, not for the weak at heart. But if it's your passion and you love doing it, it will ultimately work out. And so the message in that, and the reason that that's coming out, is that if you're a parent that's worried about your child, it's all going to work out even if you can't control the results. I feel like things will all work out better than you expect. And what they're saying to me really is let go and let God, and know that either your dreams of being a parent or your concerns about your child will all work out. Okay? For the middle of the week here, we have vacation. So if you've been thinking of going on a vacation and you're trying to talk yourself out of it because you don't have the money, think again, because sometimes we need to do things for selves rather. It makes us a happier person, and it lifts our energy when we do something for ourselves. Last year, for the first time ever, I went to a tropical winter vacation. It's kind of funny because I was born in and grew up in a terrible winter state. Minnesota is, other than my Canadian friends, I think that we're among the toughest winters, at least usually. And I couldn't believe I had never in all of my adult life thought to do something like that, because the older I get and I don't have the family I thought, sometimes I really do like to travel. And I had a friend that I wanted to see from Boston, where I had lived, and I said, hey, instead of getting together in one of the states we live in where it's cold and snowy, let's meet on a beach. And I have to tell you, yeah, it was pricey, but it was so worth it. I was on cloud 9 after I came home, and I kept joking with the people that I worked with that I had a vitamin D high because, I'd been in the sun for a week, and obviously it's a dark and cold time of year. So they want to say, if you've been thinking of doing that and getting in your own way, this is a sign. If you're about to go on a vacation, and actually I am, this is a sign that it might be magical in ways beyond what you could imagine. It's going to be good for your soul. Personally, it's funny because my vacation, where it's part a work conference, if you will, I'm going to a class for mediumship for a week, but I'm taking some time for me as well before I go home because it's in the UK. It's still, to me, it's very interesting because I feel like I've gone through a lot in my life, and it's going to be a great time to just decompress, clear my head. It's going to be great to do something with and for my soul, and ultimately to help others in the medium class, because I'm not a full-time medium, nor do I really desire to be at this point. I love to help people, but I have other interests and have come to the determination that right now, I can't be a full-time medium. And who knows what will happen with that, but I love doing the work of medium and psychic things because it's such a pleasure to help people. And I'm going to get a vacation out of the deal, so yay. So if you've been thinking of doing something like that, or going to a class, but you don't know how you're going to have the money because you've got to get on a plane or you've got to pay for a class, this is a sign to think outside the box and then put your wish out there and let it manifest instead of imagining how or saying you can't. I'm getting an image of somebody I did a reading for that I think she was a chef or something, and she wanted to go. There was a 3-part, I don't know if it was a cooking class or series, and she just had poo-pooed it and said, I don't have the money to go to all the classes. And part of the reading just said, you know what? You don't have to know where the money's coming from. Just put one foot in front of the other. You don't have to take all the classes at one time. And put it out there and see if the abundance arises. Because they want me to tell you that one of my first medium classes was to go to Hawaii to see Doreen Virtue. And it was not an inexpensive class. You know, it's expensive just to get to Hawaii, let alone pay for the class. And so they want you to know that I was really worried about being able to pay for it, and somehow the money magically appeared. So trust. And yep, so they want me to move on to the next card, so I'm going to do that. Here's what we have for the weekend. It is problem resolved. I'm hearing that all your fears and everything you've worried about is about to clear up. And I feel drawn to talk about that first card we had, which was the parents and children. And if you're worried about your child or children or being a parent, this problem is resolved. It's going to work out. It's going to work out in a way beyond what you had thought. It's never going to be as bad as it was. And I feel like they want to say that they know that you have suffered. And it's about to be resolved in a way beyond what you can imagine. And I did hear it's never going to be as bad as it's been. So if you feel that things fell apart and you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, the problems are resolved. Go forward fearlessly. They want me to talk about if you went through some financial calamity, like for instance, I lost a house a few years ago in foreclosure and the economic crisis in the United States. And it, was hard for me fiscally and otherwise. And my ultimate goal, obviously, is to get another house. I'm not trying to rush it, but I do have, a goal that in the next couple of years it would be nice. And what they're saying is the problem is resolved. So if you had something that, financially it fell apart or your credit was ruined, the problem's going to be magically resolved. And what they're saying too is that time heals these things. But know that you did nothing wrong and stop blaming yourself. The fairies actually are helpers to you. A lot of you watching this reading have a connection with the fairies and the elemental energy of nature. And if you ask them for help, they will help. And they want to say too that they appreciate that all you've done for the earth and for nature. All right, now let's look to see what our accent card is for the week. And it says time to decide. And it says make a decision based on your heart's true desires. Now here's what's very interesting is I have to be honest, I was almost like annoyed that I had to have an extra deck out. Hey, I'm human. And it was funny because I saw another card and I think it was the Freedom card in this deck. And it's funny to me because it may be a different card that came up, but to me, they have so much in common. Because the Freedom card says you're free to decide what you want to do. And so perhaps it's time to be honest with yourself. Maybe you're doing something that you don't want to do. I'm getting specifically the image of somebody that's in college, that's young enough to have the parents' influence heavily on what they want to do or what their career is. And it's funny because we did have that parents and children card. And is there a way that you can find something that would make you happy, but yet satisfy your parents' need to know that you are doing something that they feel is wise? And honestly, you have to be happy with your decision, or the money will flow in and flow out. If it's a career thing that you're going to decide and you're just trying to do it to earn money, really doing what you love could be the most profitable thing, even if at first it is not the most profitable. But decide what it is that you want. And it's okay if you don't know now. Ask your angels for help. Ask for help. And make a list. They want me to tell you that one thing I've been doing lately is journaling. And I don't really journal much, strangely, because I'm a writer, but I like to sit there right now, especially because I kind of feel like my life has not exactly turned out the way I planned. And I feel like I'm not the only one out there that has had that happen. And to me, journaling has been very helpful in my figuring out what it is that I want. So know that this is a week to me that I really feel like the theme is parents and children. Whether you're a parent or a child, know that things will work out and that the stresses are about to be cleared because your problems are to be resolved. And I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in with me week after week. I love you all, and I'll speak to you again next week.